You are Jesus. You are. You are Jesus. You are Jesus. Jesus is the healer. Jesus is the defender. Jesus is the helper. Jesus is the sustainer. You are Jesus. He is the burden bearer. You are Jesus. You are the way, the truth, and the life. You are Jesus. There is no other way. There is no other truth. You are Jesus.
Hallelujah. Good morning, good morning. Or good afternoon. I'm still in the morning, you guys. Still in the morning.
You are Jesus. You are Jesus. You are Jesus. You are my backbone. You are Jesus. You are Jesus. You are my backbone. You are Jesus. All these other names we call him is into one, and that is Jesus.
Hello,
but he has
hello.
revealed himself to you in different ways.
How are you doing?
You should be able to call him those
Monday?
ways. He's the one that shows forth at the nick of time. He has done it for me severally.
I started to go live in my group, but I quickly said, you know what, let me go live on my personal page, because I believe that so many people outside of the 1,000 people that are inside my group, I need to share this message with more than them. I need to share this message with more than them. Hey, Tiffany, how are you? I was on a live this morning for about an hour with one of my Kingdom partners, and we were talking about goal setting. We were talking about obtaining those goals this year in 2019, and I spent some time just going through various scenarios of how you can obtain those goals. But what I know to be true is that regardless of the system I give you to obtain your goals, if you're not willing to put in the work, it's not going to happen. And for those of you, many of you that have relationship goals, be it with your spouse or be it you're desiring to be in a committed relationship that's going to lead to a healthy marriage, there are several things that you have to implement in order for you to establish that. And one thing I know for sure is that the root of a healthy relationship, and in particular a marriage, is your spiritual relationship, your God relationship. Why do I say that? Because it is God who created marriage, the marriage covenant. It is him that established the man and the woman to come together and to be as one. So when you take God out of the equation, you are going to suffer and struggle way longer than necessary. Way longer than necessary. And I can speak for so many women, so many couples that I speak to on a day-to-day basis. And when I ask the question of how is your God relationship? How is your prayer life? How is your worship time? How are your study habits? They quickly tell me that, oh, that's something I've been focusing on. That's not something that I'm strong in. That's not something that we have been doing together as a couple, right? For my married people. And what I want to just tell you here is if you struggle with being accountable to God, excuse me, guys. And if you struggle with consistency and being disciplined in your God relationship, you will struggle in your marriage. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. So if you're saying, you know, I hear people say often that I want to get closer to God. So my question then to you is, what does that look like? And what do you have to do in order to get to that place? So if you're on this live today and you said, I want to get closer to God, I want to go deeper in God, I want my God relationship to look different than what it looks like today. What does that look like to you? And what is it that you have to do in order to get to that place? That's a question that you have to ask yourself. And then you have to ask yourself, what am I willing to do to get there? What steps do I need in order to get there? What sacrifices do I need to make in order to get there? You know, I'm hosting a 30-day Wives in Warfare challenge, and we are on day 20. And today we're talking about consistency, right? We're talking about how to be consistent in our love toward our spouses, how to be consistent in learning how to do things differently, how to be consistent in our attitude toward them, how to be consistent in our mindset toward them, how to be consistent in our emotions, how to manage our emotions, how to be consistent in those things. But what I can tell you is that if your God relationship is out of whack and you're still struggling in the simple things when it comes to that, you're going to struggle in being kind towards your spouse. You're going to struggle in showing respect towards your husband because your mind is going to often wonder or think about the times that he did not earn or he does not deserve your respect. Your mind is going to wonder on how to love your wife because you're going to always look at when she's acting unlovable and when she's acting all emotional and when she's allowing the pain of her past and the hurt of her past to consume her life and now consume the marriage covenant. So if you struggle with accountability and getting up and spending time with the Lord and spending time in your word and spending time in worship and thinking that that's something that you just do on Sunday, that's something that you just do when you go to your services during the week, you're going to struggle with being an accountable wife, being an accountable husband in that marriage relationship. You're going to struggle. And many of you are in the struggle because you're choosing to be in the struggle. You've had help offered to you. You've had people to give you strategies, tools, tips, and resources. Every book that I've written has been a tool to help somebody get out of the struggle, whatever that may look like. And your mindset would speak life, and the way that you talk, and the way that you verbalize, and the way that you communicate and speak life, and also in it to win it. And the way you treat your husband and your wife and wives who win, and the way you treat the issues of your past and overcoming those areas and rolling with the punches, and the way that you treat God in your relationship with him in Proverbs 31, and the way that you chase after your purpose in the wilderness journey, everything that I have done, everything I have written, every time I come on live, every post that I post, it is to help you on your journey of transformation. But you are responsible for that. It is not me. So when you lack areas like accountability and consistency and discipline, it's up to you to, number one, identify that that's a lack in your life. And then number two, be willing to do something about it. And no longer utilizing excuses as to the reason why you're unable to do something about it. Because those are simply excuses. So if you are in the same place you've been at last year in your marriage, in your finances, in your mindset, in your job, in your business, in your ministry, I'm here to let you know that that's a problem. And you now have an opportunity to change the way you do life and change the way you do marriage. Somebody put that on in here. You now have opportunity to change the way you do life and to change the way you do marriage, but it starts with you. It starts with you making a decision. It starts with you saying, you know what? I've tried doing it on my own. I've tried just going to church. I've tried just going to Bible study, but it's not working. Because I find myself chasing after God for a moment. I find myself digging deeper for him and wanting him only when I'm in a distressful place, only when I'm in trouble, only when my back is against the wall, only when I'm challenged, only when I'm in a disposition that I cannot understand or even verbalize. That's when I find myself chasing after him. But any other time, I'm not in that place. And it's in that place when you feel like you don't need him. And it's in that place when you feel like you don't need help. It's when you need it the most. It's when you need it the most. Don't be deceived that you think that everything is going well, that you don't need to seek after him. I often tell the story that I prayed for my husband 7 years before we were even married. And I pray for him even now today. I'm constantly going before the Lord for my husband. I'm constantly going before the Lord for my marriage. Why? It's not that I have a bad marriage. I actually have a really great marriage. I have a really amazing husband. But in order for it to stay that way, and in order for it to continue to grow, in order for me to continue to grow, to be the better wife, to be the right mate, to be the help me, to be able to do the things that God has called me to do, I have to continue in prayer. I have to live a lifestyle of prayer. I have to live a lifestyle of worship. I have to live a lifestyle of praise. This is not something that is just done on a week-to-week basis. In 1999 is when I started worshiping the Lord and going before the Lord and petitioning before him. So for 20 years, I have been growing my faith. For 20 years, I have been growing my love walk. For 20 years, I have been growing in discipline. For 20 years, I have been growing in accountability. But for some of you, you can't do it for 20 minutes. You can't do it for 20 days. You can't do it for 20 weeks. For 20 years, this has been my life. So when you look at my life, it's not to say, oh, she's arrived overnight. Oh, she's all disciplined. She's all focused. She's all faith driven. No, this didn't happen yesterday. This started in 1999. I started praying for my marriage that I have today, set now 13 years ago. 13 years ago. So this is not something that just popped up. So I know without a shadow of a doubt, because God revealed it to me, is that many of you lack consistency. You know what you desire. And you'll be on the track of that for a few moments, for a few days, or even for a few weeks. But that's about as long as you're going to go. Because you don't see the reciprocity right away, and you don't see the reward right away, you fall back into your state. And you fall back doing the things that you've done before because you don't see immediate results. But what I can tell you is that there's no such thing as immediate results, because when you invest in your life and you invest in your marriage, that investment takes time. And you have to be willing to get the return on your investment, and knowing that it's not in your time, but it's in God's timing. Because in that time of you investing and you sowing seeds of life and sowing seeds of wealth into your marriage, God is working on the inside. And he's changing some things on the inside. He's changing some things in you. He's changing some things in your marriage that you cannot see with your physical eye, nor will you ever be able to see plainly and visually with your physical eye. It's going to take your spiritual eye, your spiritual senses being implemented to be able to see what God is doing. And for me, I had to see what God was doing in the spiritual realm before I was able to see what God was doing in the natural realm. And God is showing you in the spiritual realm, I am working, but I need you to not grow weary in well-doing. I need you to not give up. I need you to trust me with all of your heart and lean not to your own understanding. I need you to know who I am. I need you to know that I am your Savior, that I am your deliverer, that I am your healer, that I am your God, that I am your Jehovah. He needs you to know him, who he is right now. But some of you are not taking the time to get to know who he is right now. And you're allowing your disposition to change. You're allowing your prayer life to change. You're allowing your worship life to change because you're so focused on the outcome and you're so focused on what you cannot see. This walk is not about what you can see. Your marriage and the welfare of your marriage is not based on what you can see. Some of you are allowing your feelings to drive you, and your feelings are fleeting. Your feelings will change at any given moment. Has any time you felt like you were all happy and you were all wonderful and you were all joyful and positive, and then something happened and then all of a sudden you got sad, all of a sudden you got mad, all of a sudden your disposition changed? That's your feelings. Those are your emotion, great indicators, but horrible dictators. And if you allow your emotions to dictate your position in God, and if you allow your emotions to dictate your position in your marriage, you're going to stay stuck. You're going to continue to struggle. You're going to continue to blame your spouse. You're going to continue to be unhappy. You're going to continue to look at that relationship as if it's worthless, it's helpless, it's hopeless. There is no hope here. You're going to continue to look at it that way. But there is a solution to that. There's a solution to that. And part of that solution is you allowing somebody to be able to help you on this journey. The first word I mentioned was accountability. And I mentioned that because that's so important. And that's what a lot of people lack. They lack accountability and following through. So my sister and I, we have opened up the doors to a mentorship program. Many people ask me to mentor them. And some of them just really want to get free coaching, whereas others are simply genuine and needing mentorship. And they want to do the work that's required, because mentorship requires a lot of work on your behalf. Yes, I give you the tools and resources, but you have to implement them and apply them to your life and to your marriage. So we've opened the door for our mentorship program to allow 100 women to be a part of the journey of transformation. We've been talking about transformation for the last, decade. We've been talking about transformation. Many of you have seen our lives transform. Brian, you've been in my life for some time now. You've seen our relationships transform. You've seen our conversations transform. You've seen our finances transform. You've seen it. You've sat and you've had a front row seat. But instead of you having a front row seat, don't you want to experience the same thing? How many of you I have on here today that want to experience transformation in your life? You don't want to just be on the front row seat, but you want to be in the know. You want to be in it. You want to experience it. You want to touch it. You want to taste it. You want to feel it. So we've opened the door for our mentorship program for 100 women to join us. And we have about a little over 25 women, I don't know the exact number, that have taken the charge and said, you know what? I am going to take this charge and transform. But what we found to be true is that many people, when it comes to transformation, you're not willing to invest in your transformation. But you will invest in clothes and cars and concerts and things that have no value and will not help your life at any point, right? It helps you to look good, but it won't help anything in here. And what I work on as a transformation scientist, as I work on the inside, as a marriage coach, I take you inside here. We're going inside and we're gonna dig up some things, and we're gonna find out what's the problem in here. What's keeping you here? What's keeping you stuck in here? And then I implement how you can utilize accountability and show you and demonstrate to you how you can be consistent and disciplined so you can finally get the results that you desire in your life, in your finances, in your faith, in your relationships. So many of us, we have opened the door. Many of you have said yes to the call. Many of you have followed through. But then there's some of you that said yes, and then you're changing your mind, or you're saying, I can't do it, or not yet, or whatever the case may be. And this is not to throw any shade or tea or anything. And for those that I've spoke with and that are going to do it, and we had another conversation, this is not for you. But for those of you that saying, you know what, I'm just going to try to do it on my own. I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing. What I want to encourage you today is that if you keep doing what you're doing, how do you think this is going to work out in your favor? What do you see changing for you if you keep doing what you've been doing? Think about it. You've been in this place last year. Think about that. Or not far from it. Last year. So I want to make the call today, and this was an impromptu live. And I congratulate Dominique for saying yes. I congratulate Shayla for saying yes. I congratulate who was it else? Somebody else I saw in here. I can't see all the people in here, but I saw someone else that I wanted to congratulate for saying yes. So many of you have already said yes to your future, yes to your marriage, yes to transformation, yes to mentorship. But I know that there are several more of you that still need to say yes. And you're allowing whatever finances or doubt or fear or procrastination, whatever it is, you're continuing to allow those things to stop you and to block you when it doesn't have to be that way. It does not have to be that way. So I want to make the call today for any of you that are interested in mentorship. In this mentorship program, this is a year-long mentorship. So this is 1 year that we're going to help you on your journey of transformation. 1 whole year. You're going to walk side by side with me and Joe. You get double side by side, and having that accountability, having that online community, having those training calls twice a month, having that roundtable discussion, and walking through each part of your life in order for you to accomplish those goals that you've been sitting on for so long, in order for you to grow personally, emotionally, and spiritually. So if that's you, I need you to say, that's me. If that's you, I need you to say, that's me. And I want to be able to send you a link for you to schedule that call so that this time next year, we won't be having the same conversation. This time next year, you'll be in a different place. I guarantee you that if you do the work. If you do the work this time next year, your life will be unrecognizable. I can bring several people on that have already gone through various programs and things that we've done. This is no gimmick. This is no trying to get money out you, because the truth be told, the amount of money that we're charging, or the investment that this is going to cost you, is peanuts. And it's really under it's really an understatement of what we would normally charge for a mentorship program, or what a mentorship program even costs at this point. So to be honest with you, the amount is so embarrassing to say, because it's like $1 a day. And if you are not willing to spend $1, 4 quarters, 10 dimes, 100 pennies to transform your life, that says a lot about you, and a lot about where you really desire to be in your life. If you really want to transform your marriage, if you really want to transform your mindset, if you really want to transform your emotions, it says a lot. So listen, if you're interested, I need you to comment below. Yes, that's me. I want to transform my life, and I want to be able to send you a link so we can schedule a call with you so that we can help you on that journey. Are any of you dare enough, bold enough, audacious enough to say, you know what, Terrell, you're talking to me. And I was in this place last year. As a matter of fact, I kind of remember you seeing a video about this time last year, and I'm still stuck, and I can't seem to get out of this place. If that's you, comment below, and I'll send you the link. So I just wanted to come on. Jacqueline Roan was the other person. She said yes. Yes to her transformation. Yes to her transformation. Because you know you can't do it on your own. So if you struggle with your God relationship, I'm one of many people that can help you, but I'm on here today, and you're watching this today. So I'm making the charge to you to say yes to you. So if you want to comment below, if you want to inbox me, you can do that as well. Or you can email us at jillandtrell@detourmovement.com. That's JILLANDTREAL@detourmovement.com. And I will talk to you then. All right, let's transform.